We were just talking off camera, dude. Talking about Peyton Robb. Feel so bad for him. Started
Yeah.
off with the, dude with the mat cleaners. Everybody was getting all excited for the UV lights, but then you saw guys getting
UV
crazy
mat cleaner.
infections. Yeah.
Yeah. When you don't clean the mats properly and you got a bunch of sweaty wrestlers, that's just gonna spread everywhere. I don't think he was the only one, right?
He wasn't. He wasn't. There were other ones as well. He just worse. There was
he was the worst.
Yeah. I think there was a dude from Iowa who got it pretty bad. Like in a couple of days, he got hospitalized. Dude, yeah. So I wanted to ask you about Mason Paris, bro. That Hodge Trophy.
Bro, he's good. Yeah, he won the Hodge. Yeah, bro. I don't know. I mean, Yanni is a four-time national champion, and doesn't have one, and that's like kind of rough. But I mean, I don't know. It's rough to win 4 and not win 1 Hodge, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, look, people talking about and stuff, and like, and then like something. I like how the losses that people had over the season because Yanni had a loss.
Yanni lost. I think he lost more than. Did he lose twice?
Yeah, he might have lost twice.
He might have lost twice. Yeah.
But I think that's stupid in the face of a 4-timer though. Like if someone's a 4-time champ, bro, like I feel like that's what dominance is.
No, for real.
I'm saying like okay.
No. Super correct.
Also, Carter Sirachi, bro. Dude, Carter Sirachi is a type of wrestler. This is not a diss to Carter at all. Like, I love his wrestling style, and I actually like. He's one of the guys who understands entertainment as well. Like his interviews.
Yes.
Most wrestlers. There's a thing with wrestling because the culture of wrestling is one of the reasons that wrestlers don't get the respect that they deserve. I think in a lot of ways. Because wrestlers never come out like boxers or kickboxers or MMA fighters and really sell themselves, or they don't want to appear overconfident or cocky because being humble is such a huge part of the sport. But Carter Sirachi comes out, completely different. He's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm the king. I'm here to stay. He's already naming UFC fighters that he wants to go beat up. He's confident. Yeah, man. He's confident. He's gonna win. He's gonna win the tournament every year. It's refreshing to see a guy like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, wrestling is a lot of humble. I worked real hard to get here. Thank God, thank Jesus. It's a lot of that stuff, and not a lot of like, yeah, I'm better than you, man. It's crazy, but I'm better than you.
Yeah. I mean, look, and look, this goes against the whole culture, and I mean, probably not a popular opinion, but I think that would help grow the sport and help to make these kids into
I think trash talk. Bro, trash talk has worked to grow sports. Look, the women's basketball. It was like the most watched thing ever because they were fucking talking shit the whole time. That was awesome.
Going crazy, yeah. And then Barstool started getting racist.
That's true.
Yeah, so that was.
But but like that stuff is good for sports and the sports that they have it in. Like you see wrestlers angry, but it's like almost never with each other. It's like at themselves. They're like, darn, I didn't, and there's a lot of shit talking.
So I mean, the best example of this, everybody loves him. I'm not going to be the guy to say that DeSanto's overrated. Like, I think Austin DeSanto's nasty. I'm a huge fan of him, but he's a guy that became popular for being aggressive. He keeps coming after people.
He was pointing at people on the bench while taking someone down. I mean, he was cool.
Yeah.
And there aren't many like wrestlers who seem like cool people, if we're being honest.
Yeah. 100%, and a lot of guys who have potential to be that. You look at RBY.
Yeah.
I mean, RBY is as he gets.
No, he's so cool. Yeah.
Dane Fix is a Instagram handle, and his social media handle in general is greatest ever.
It's true.
But then, yeah, so you'd expect his interviews to be like electric, with that vibe. And I feel like a lot of times we don't really get it the same way. But yeah,
Yeah.
Austin DeSanto, and then Thomas Gilman. Thomas Gilman interviews people love, and they say he's always a psychopath. He's a weirdo, and it's like, bro, he's
Yeah.
interesting. These things are interesting.
Yeah.
You gotta bring something a little different. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it. I love it, and I want to see more of that in the sport. We just found out about the potential rule changes,
The
3-point
rule changes. Yeah.
takedowns. Yeah.
Three.
Um,
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
I understand why it happens. I mean, every wrestling coach, from like any youth coach to, I'm sure, any Olympic coach will tell you takedowns are the most important thing in wrestling. And, when you get taken down once, you get out that period, you get out the next period, and you ride them for a minute and you win. Or you ride them for the whole third period and you win. I mean, it's like, well, what happened?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I understand, like, that's what they're looking at. Like, we don't want these 3-2 victories because of riding time point, and, the guy just happened to be able to escape. They want, like, a bunch of takedowns in a match, and it's more exciting. But that being said, I don't think it's like wrestling.
yeah. I mean, that's what I think. Yeah, going off of that because more competitive internationally, right? I told you this
Yes,
before. I
it
think I
will.
think I think I think it'll make better freestyle wrestlers in America, which is, I mean, you see people like talking about that on Twitter already. They're like, why don't we just go full freestyle? Like, there's this guy who tweeted, like, here's my proposed rule set, and it's just it starts off, people don't really know what he's talking about, and it's just a freestyle rule set completely.
This is the whole freestyle stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but yeah,
I
dude,
don't.
I hear you. It's just it's changing the sport completely, though. It's making it into like
It's so different. I don't know how to change it to get what the product that they want is exciting, like takedown matches where you're rewarded for getting those takedowns. Yeah,
to just get the riding time. Here's what I mean. I think
yeah,
I was talking to you about this before. I also think it's unfair to high schoolers. Like high
yeah.
schoolers
You
who
have
are
to
getting.
change them both.
You got to change them both because if you get recruited folk style your whole high school career, like most guys, I mean, could be wrestling high level from like middle school, late middle school. Um,
Exactly, like sixth, seventh grade.
you get into like college, you're recruiting them for almost a different sport. If someone's a really good top rider, and that's what really has been working for them for their whole high school career, they're gonna have to completely change their game.
Yeah,
College.
I
They might
mean,
have to anyways, but I mean it just makes it completely different. I also don't know why. I guess I understand why they would take away riding time, but what if they just added the 3-point takedown? You know, I feel like diminishing the riding time. I guess
yeah.
that just discourages people from riding on top. I don't know. I don't know if that would be like. What do you think the pros and cons of that?
I think
Just maybe
I think
that's
the
just
writing
me.
time.
Maybe that's just me having.
But the writing time isn't in high school, so I don't understand
Yeah,
why we need to keep that. The problem that I have with it is the 3-point takedowns. But with the 3-point takedowns, there are no like hand tap takedowns anymore. So if you just put your hand down for a second, it's not a takedown. Do you think making it harder to get these takedowns is like why they're making it worth 3 points, or what? How do
yeah.
you
I
think
mean,
none of those will do for?
I man, you're gonna see a lot of more arguments. I feel like
No,
from
exactly.
coaches on
Because like,
takedowns
what
now.
if? Oh, oh, what do you mean? His hand was only down for 1 second, and you know.
Yeah, we already see
Yeah, I
that
think
now.
with the coaches challenge break that they have, I'm sure every time it's close, like, oh, was that hand down for 2 seconds or 1 second? Both of them are throwing either if it is a takedown or if it isn't, the other one's throwing. They're brick.
Yeah, dude, 100%. 100%. I mean, I think that a change like that also is just going to be something where people have to maybe what they're going for is to make people change their game, because right now if you have wrestlers that just want to get that hand touch takedown, or just want to be able to wrap up that leg and like just for a second, and they're content with getting the points that way, that they wanted to change that to get people to be incentivized to become more aggressive. So I understand where it's coming from, but I do see situations where in big matches, there's going to be huge controversies and there's going to be big arguments. They're going to have to introduce replays probably if they want to this. I mean, especially when you're going through the growing pains, there's going to be a lot of problems. There's going to be a lot of refs. I feel like getting yelled at, bro. Because what does constitute a takedown? So it's not hand touch, but it's hand touch after a certain amount of time, or
Yeah, I can pull it up. Let me see.
let's check it out.
I had it up. I just need to. Go there.
I mean, I'm not saying we should have replays all the time, obviously, but I feel like in the NCAA,
No.
sometimes like there's going to be big arguments about this, so people should start introducing replays. I feel like, especially if you push the rules up this way.
The hand touch takedown would be eliminated, meaning all takedowns, in order to be secured, would require a demonstration of control beyond reaction time. What is reaction time?
I mean,
what is reaction time?
Demonstration of control beyond reaction time. So, like, you hold them down and you like keep them down. Like, when I'm like, I guess there's the initial reaction when somebody's getting taken down. Well, yeah, what does that mean? I actually don't know what that means. I need to see an instructional video. I feel like demonstrate control beyond reaction time.
I mean, I don't want to get too far off of college wrestling, but MMA takedowns are very different from college takedowns. But I think if you just like slam on top of them, they have reaction time, right? Or is it just the second you're down, you're down?
I guess I hear what you're saying. Maybe that's because you need to demonstrate control. You need to have control.
Yeah.
So is that what they're? Okay,
yeah,
so it'd be something like that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know those takedowns are very different, where like mat returns are takedowns there and all that stuff. But
so I don't know if mat returns are still. I guess they are still takedowns. Yeah.
In MMA, mat returns 100% are takedowns. So fucking, they have 40 of them sometimes.
Yeah, that's why when Khabib took down Abel Trujillo, took him down 23 times. It was mat return.
Like 13 of them were mat returns.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, bro. But I mean, yeah, MMA is also like when you. Okay, so that's actually a good analogy because I think the 3-point takedown comes from when people take down and then look for a turn immediately. Like that's what it was. Is like when you start to get aggressive into the turn. That's kind of like in MMA. Sometimes they don't score the takedown until you start to actually mount offense on top. You use your control to move towards that would aim to do damage or finish the fight. So going off of that. But this is, again, it's going to be much more arguable. Before I feel like wrestlers had a clear understanding of what positions would be a takedown. And I feel like that takes a long time in a sport like wrestling where literally anything can happen. This isn't like basketball where it's like, okay, you step over this line, then an extra happens, or you get the ball in the hoop. These are people contorted in all sorts of different, you know what I mean? Like there's going to be tons of weird situations. And in MMA, it may not be the deciding thing whether someone got a takedown for a second because there's not a lot of damage from that. But in wrestling, this is like this is the sport. It's like
it
this
literally
is who gets the points. So I don't know. I feel like replays are gonna be necessary if you're gonna go off control,
Mm-hmm.
or reaction time. What reaction time is going to have to be established. Yeah, yeah, 100%. I also, how do you feel the level of wrestling in general? Like, so sorry, this is kind of a little bit of a segue, but
Yeah.
I've heard, and from what I've seen, the best people in MMA, like the best wrestlers in MMA, were the wrestlers that were able to. So this is the flip side of the freestyle wrestling, right? Like on one side, the 3 points will make people better at freestyle from America,
Yeah.
but
World championships, here we come.
on the flip side, for MMA, a lot of the best MMA wrestlers are the guys that can take people down and ride them
And
keep them there.
hold them.
Yeah,
To keep them on the ground. He keep their fucking hips down because,
exactly.
they want to get submitted, but still, yeah.
Tie up those legs, right? Like in jiu-jitsu, they call them hooks,
Mm-hmm.
right? Get your hooks in,
Yep.
but for wrestlers know that it's like
Get
leg
the
riding.
hooks in, yeah.
Yeah. This rule change might actually affect, how Americans do in MMA as well. Like we produce guys. Obviously, Kobe Covington's a big. He was a tough top rider in college.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler was more of an explosive athlete.
Mm.
But yeah, so that's something to consider with the rule change as well. How do you see Bo Nickel doing in the future? I know he's only had a few fights so far. Like, have you been impressed with him so far? Or also, like,
Yes.
listen, yeah, me
Yes.
too. Like,
bro, there isn't enough. He can't get enough hype. He's the best wrestler in MMA right now. He's the best wrestler in MMA.
100%. I don't even think that's debatable. If everyone in MMA had a wrestling match, even the heavyweights. Do you think if him and Curtis Blades wrestled, who do you think would come out on
I think
top?
Bo Nickel's gonna win.
Yeah, I think
Bo
he would
Nickel's
too.
gonna win.
I think so as well.
That might be crazy. Actually, I don't know that, but I know he's the best wrestler in his weight class.
I'm confident about that because anybody that can have a close match with David Taylor.
No, David Taylor, the best in the world, and he's almost as good as
like that too. Bo Nickel's in the Penn State room, and
yes,
he's in there. He's practicing with them.
Yes, and
he's fresh.
Not enough can be said about the Penn State room and about Bo Nickel. Who does he lose to in a wrestling match ever at 185?
Oh man, that's tough.
What's his name? Fucking.
Honestly, Sriracha is pretty tough matchup for him. That's a fantastic. I'd like to see. I would like a camera into a Penn State room to see Bo Nichols goes with Carter Sriracha.
Oh,
that's level stuff, man.
Yeah,
crazy. And he probably goes with Aaron Brooks as well, or not probably, he definitely does.
Oh, for sure.
Insane. That is. Their room is so crazy. You think what they have in their room, their practices must be, and they all have fun. Wrestling is such a grind, and I think that's the secret that Kale has discovered. Other people know it, but you don't see this change happening as much with other, other wrestlers. Like Kale's having fun. He's having fun with his guys. The guys are having fun wrestling. They want to wrestle. And this is what you're seeing happening with the culture. They're rising out of that grind. They're being themselves, right? Carter Sriracha is being himself. Other wrestlers go there and they say the stuff Carter Sriracha's saying, seeing cocky. Their coach would yell at them, say, "What the hell are you doing? You're making a fool out of yourself." But Kale lets his guys be them.
Mm-hmm. For better or for worse.
With Aaron Brooks. Oh my god.
Sometimes you let them be themselves too much, and they go off saying some crazy stuff.
Oh my god, that was so crazy, dude. And I can't believe.
Yeah.
So him saying that's one thing. Him saying that obviously unacceptable, should never happen.
No.
You understand someone's religious. Talk about your religion for sure, but don't put
Bro,
down other
thank
Jesus
people's
Christ.
Religion.
Yeah.
But don't be like the one and only Jesus Christ, the only one who matters.
Then
No false prophet
he name dropped Muhammad. He was like, no false
is
prophets, no
crazy.
Muhammad. Yeah. So it's one thing for him to do that. That's unacceptable. But NCAA Wrestling posted it.
Bro, they
NCAA,
posted it
they
on their
posted it.
Twitter like it was a good thing. It was ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? This is not how you portray yourself well. This is how you portray yourself like bigots.
100%. I mean, because listen, at the end of the day, Aaron Brooks, he's a fantastic wrestler, but he's just a kid. You know, like I guess
Oh, he's
that's not excusing what he did. Completely unacceptable.
no, but
It's a different
I
level
get
when
it.
you are the NCAA wrestling organization. Like these are all grown adult people, and you make the
Yes,
choice to promote that. That's disgusting. I think
bro.
that's really
I
gross.
bet it's still up. I
No.
mean, I don't know
They
for a fact.
I took it down because I quote tweeted them. I quote tweeted them immediately. I
Uh,
was like, "This is fucking.
it
This
was
is atrocious."
it was up for a while though. Like it was not like, oh, we accidentally slipped. It was up for at least a couple days,
It
or at
was.
least the day.
It was. It was, man. I mean, I don't know why. You know, you think about how big wrestling is in a lot of Muslim countries too. Like, so many
No,
of the best
the
wrestlers in the world are Muslim. Why in the
Iran,
world? Yeah, Iran,
fucking yeah.
a lot of Russia.
Oh, the Russians who are good, yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, dude. Fucking craziness. By the way, this is Galileo. Say what's up, Gal.
Thank you. Hello.
He's in addition to Yesirrrr Sports Crew with Blake. He's talking about wrestling and MMA with me, so tune in. You guys will hear our opinions on a lot of stuff, and comment down below if you guys want to hear us talk about something in the wrestling world or